So we're diving into a listener request today. Someone wrote in wanting to know more about handling language barriers while traveling, and honestly, who hasn't been there?
Right, that feeling of, wait, how do I even order a coffee? It's universal.
Totally. But it's amazing how much tech is out there now to help us navigate those situations. What are your thoughts on translation apps to start with?
Honestly, they're pretty much indispensable these days. The big three. Google Translate, iTranslate, and Microsoft Translator. Each one has its strengths.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're trying to decipher a menu in real time. Google Translate is your friend.
Yeah.
Fast, efficient, gets the job done.
Oh, and that camera feature, just point your phone at it. Lifesaver.
Absolutely. But what if you're somewhere a little more off the beaten path? No signal, can't rely on data. That's where iTranslate shines, because their offline mode is seriously impressive.
Good point. Preparedness is key.
Exactly. Now, let's say you want to have more of an actual conversation, go a little deeper, right? That's when I'd turn to Microsoft Translator. Yeah. That conversation mode is pretty slick. It's getting better all the time, too. That AI stuff just keeps evolving.
It really is amazing to see. But, tech aside for a moment, don't you think a little pre-trip effort goes a long way too?
100%. Even just learning a few basic phrases can make a world of difference. And thankfully, there are apps for that, too.
So many apps. What are your top picks?
Well, for sheer fun, you can't beat Duolingo. It gamifies the language learning process, so it's engaging, keeps you motivated.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
But if you're someone who likes to really delve into grammar, understand the structure of a language, then Babbel might be a better fit.
Right, right. Horses for courses and all that.
And then you've got Memrise, which is all about vocabulary acquisition. So again, it depends on your learning style and your goals.
Love that. So we've covered the grammar, the vocabulary, but what about pronunciation? That's the one that always trips me up.
Ah, yes, the dreaded pronunciation hurdle. For that, I'd recommend checking out Forvo. Think of it as a pronunciation dictionary in your pocket. You can listen to native speakers pronounce words and phrases, really nail those tricky sounds.
That's so helpful.
It is. And then there's Triplingo. It's like a Swiss Army knife of language tools. Not only does it help with pronunciation, but it also gives you cultural insights, do's and don'ts, even has a voice translator.
Ooh, talk about a comprehensive app. But all this talk about apps makes me think, what about those times when technology fails us? Battery dies, no Wi-Fi. It happens.
It does. And you know what? Sometimes there's no substitute for a good old-fashioned phrase book or pocket dictionary. They're reliable, never run out of battery, and there's something oddly comforting about having that physical book in your hand.
I agree. And while we're on the topic of non-tech solutions, I'm a huge fan of visuals. Picture dictionaries, point-it books, even just sketching out a quick drawing can work wonders.
Oh, absolutely. Visuals are incredibly powerful. But this brings up an important point about nonverbal communication in general. While a smile can go a long way in any language, gestures, not so much. Those can have completely different meanings depending on where you are in the world.
You're so right. Remember that time? I think it was in Italy. I confidently gave the thumbs up sign, thinking I was being positive, and it did not go over well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, learned that lesson the hard way. But speaking of connecting with locals, have you ever tried those language exchange meetups?
I have. They can be fantastic. Apps like Meetup and Couchsurfing are great for finding those. It's a fun way to practice, immerse yourself a bit, and who knows, maybe make some new friends along the way.
Exactly. But I guess all of this really boils down to how we approach communication, right?
It really does. Learning a few key phrases, even if it's just hello, thank you, excuse me, it shows that you're making an effort, and that goes a long way.
It shows respect, too.
Definitely. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Most people are more than happy to assist, and they appreciate the effort.
So true. Any other tips for making the most of those interactions?
Let's see. Oh, speak slowly and clearly. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself.
Yeah.
And most importantly, keep a sense of humor. Because let's be real, you're gonna make mistakes.
Oh, guaranteed.
But that's part of the fun, right? Those linguistic mishaps often make for the best travel stories.
They really do. Now, I'm curious, from your experience, are there any languages that you found particularly challenging?
Well, as an English speaker, languages with different alphabets like Russian or Korean can seem pretty daunting at first. It's like learning a whole new way of writing.
It's like code breaking.
It is. And then there are tonal languages like Mandarin or Vietnamese where the meaning of a word can change depending on the tone you use.
Wow. That sounds incredibly complex.
It is, but also fascinating. It's like learning to sing your words.
I love that. Languages really are incredible when you think about it. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe someday we'll have those real-time translator earbuds and language barriers will be a thing of the past.
Wouldn't that be something? Although, I have to admit, part of me hopes that even with all the tech advancements, we never lose that human element of connecting through language, even if it's imperfect.
Absolutely. There's something special about that shared effort to understand each other. So as you plan your next adventure, I encourage you to think about those destinations whose languages have always intimidated you and challenge yourself to learn just one phrase. Even a little effort can make your experience so much richer and more meaningful.
I completely agree. Embrace the challenge. You might just surprise yourself.
On that note, safe travels, everyone, and happy language learning.
Until next time.